The United States has spent a great deal of effort over the past 10 years using media of all different sorts to convince Arabs that the NBA is fun and hip-hop music is enjoyable and McDonald's tastes good and things like that, which they don't disagree with, but has avoided questions involving Israel and the Palestinians, involving Iraq, involving drones, involving the war on terror, and things like that. I think there are plenty of Arab efforts to reach out to Americans to talk about, the deep bonds of friendship between the United States and certain Arab governments, and some children holding hands and singing songs and goodwill, and that don't answer questions evolving, say, from the 9/11 attacks or questions about the rise of Islamist groups in the post-Arab Spring environment, and that don't sort of humanize the Arab world to the American audience. States and societies and cultures and countries also have interests. And we should proceed, all of us, based on our interests, and our interests should be enlightened interests. And recognizing mutual interdependency, the limitations of what we can achieve, and the shared challenges that we face. At the same time, we don't have to give up any of our values. I think it's very important in pointing out the diversity that exists, the heterogeneity that exists in the Arab world, for example. There is, as I was explaining during our conversation, this very strong notion in the United States of a fundamental homogeneity in the Arab world or in the Islamic world. The two sometimes are inappropriately conflated, and that people are, for the most part, of a type, and it's a very reductive set of stereotypes. And the reality is that the Arab world is extremely heterogeneous, and the Islamic world is heterogeneous to the point of being indistinguishable from humanity. I mean, 1/5 of the people of the world are Muslims. That means that every form of human experience is represented in the Islamic world today. There isn't anything that people do that isn't done by Muslims, because 1 in 5 people are Muslims. It's almost, when you have a group of people as big as 1/5 of humanity, it's almost the same as saying people.